Good morning, noble souls. The early bird catches the worm. We should say the early bird catches that kundalini energy, the base of the spine, that just lifts up every time that you approach or have a good intention to connect with the source of you and the aspects of you that are eternal. Yeah, not just for a lifetime or two, but those things that are forever as you, in you, right here and now. So, there's going to be an equinox coming up in a few days, my dears. So we're going to maybe look at something to, hello, Cami, good morning, welcome. I'm just appreciating you as always, those of you who come on a regular basis and bring the best of you, and that's such a powerful, powerful energy to begin an amazing day for us. And what does that day look like besides this thing I'm going to read you about the coming equinox to balance out the equanimity? Yeah, good. The equanimity, we're going to look at some, even-mindedness is yoga. Yogananda says even-mindedness, even keel. And our emotions can get pretty wired, huh? So we might look at that. But this is what the Dalai Lama says. It's beautiful. He says there are only 2 days in the year. There's only 2 days in the year when nothing can be done. One is called yesterday, and the other is tomorrow. So today, then, is the right day to love, to believe, to do, and to live. Hello, Roman. Yes, sir. Got your little emoji you sent me. Thank you. I'm glad to know that you're getting those copies. Yeah, awesome. Perfect. I know you're probably busy, man. So this way you get it right into your inbox. So yeah, good job, man. Good job. Thank you for being here today. We're talking about there's an equinox coming up in a few days. So, equinox kind of means an equanimity or an even-mindedness, especially with our emotions. And that we're going to kind of address that today, looking at that. And as always, just relax, though. Everybody, just relax. There's so much to got tense up about these days, and but all of that is just to teach us how to relax, right? Everything difficult, everything that's not right, in the scope of things, just going haywire, is to drive us to the point where we find that equilibrium. We find that state that we want to be in today. Because we're the rulers. There's nobody else is a ruler of your emotions unless you let them. And no one else can, their energies cannot get into you if you have your mind set on the divine. In other words, a higher frequency. It acts like an energetic wall that no one can get into your being, your beingness, everything that you are as a being and as a human as well. Being and human is a little slightly different thing. The being is that which is the essence of you inside a physical body. And then the body is just where you're just feeling the bodily things and forget about the essence. Good morning, Ricardo. Welcome, my friend. We have a pretty good lineup today. So let's look at that. Let's look at this mastering your energy. This is from a group called Soul Fuel, kind of like that, Soul Fuel. And they say your emotions were never meant to be your weakness. Your emotions were never meant to be your weakness. I know we go up and down with those, but this is why we're talking about the equinox today, because we want to even it all out. We want to just kind of just be even keel, even keel, even minded, not getting overly fixated on anything, just, and whatever is, we accept, embrace, and love. Whatever happens, accept, embrace, and love, and know that it is part of the design that the divine has for you today. Don't for a moment forget that you are remote controlled by the most powerful force beyond this creation. The source itself, you're remote controlled by source itself. It will never forsake you. It will never forget you. It is always there protecting you. So be well, my dears, and just relax, and we'll look at these emotions first off today. So they were never meant to be your weakness. They were meant to be your compass. Yeah, it's kind of what we're saying right now. Yeah, you can kind of keep an eye out today on those emotional things, those feelings today, and know that they're your compass. They're there in the highest sense of the word to point you in the direction of peace, to point you in the direction of love, right? Because there's only 2 days, and that is that we can't control, and that is yesterday and tomorrow. In the meantime, let's love. Let's just love today. Let's just love the Dickens out of ourselves, meaning the Dickens is sometimes just those emotions that go haywire. All right. So this goes on to say that there are people who study reactions the way a hunter studies movement. Some people are really caught up in the emotional storyline, my dears. The emotional way to go about a day is a lot different, actually, than what we were talking about a moment ago. That we're going to there's only today, there's no yesterday or tomorrow. Let's just love. So there's people who study reactions, though, the way a hunter studies movement. They watch, they wait. They place emotional traps in your path. They place emotional traps in your path, already knowing which button to press and how you might respond. That is why awareness is power, our awareness. When we're in a conversation, when we see the news, the whole thing. But the moment we slow down, the moment we set the pattern instead of reacting to it, we set the pattern. That's why we're in charge of this moment, right? We're in charge of today. There's nobody that can make you happy if you choose not to be happy, and there's no one that can make you unhappy if you choose to be unhappy. So we are making the call today, my dears, on how we might respond when the emotions get set off. And one way is not to react to it, as you all know, makes sense. And when you don't react, there's a whole game changer. It's a whole game changer. You're no longer the puppet pulled by invisible strings, right? By forces outside of yourself. You want to be so powerful with the force that the force just flows through you and into anything and everything that's in your circumference. Yeah. You want to have such mastery of that life force, right? By keeping your mind in a beautiful place. Like there's just today. There's just this time to love today, to be today, and to have an even keel and to see everything in a positive light. OMG, really? You become the one who sees the strings instead of the puppet who's pulling invisible strings on your emotions. You're the one. You see the strings. The one who decides what energy deserves your response. That you see the strings, the one, like, which strings am I going to pull here? How am I going to respond in this emotional situation? Or just this maybe indifference in emotional situation. Maybe we're just indifferent today. Maybe we're just, getting really exhausted with the times and what's happening in our world. Of course, that means we've given our energy to the world. But let's get the energy from the source right here, coming through this medulla oblongata at the base of your skull. It's the mouth of God. It's also called the mouth of God, but it's the source of cosmic energy called the medulla oblongata. And it comes through right at this hollow cavity at the base of your skull, and it's bringing in life force. So let's every positive thought, and when you are in charge of yourself, when you are not taking anything too seriously, that energy is just flowing, and willingness to be, to take charge of yourself today. Being willing brings in the greatest supply of this prana or this life force. Being willing. Willingness brings the greatest supply of energy. So life moves through energy, my dears. And the wisest souls learn this truth. Not every move requires emotion. Not every move, not every conversation, not everything you see, hear about deserves your response. You're the one who decides what energy deserves your response. And life moves through energy. And the wisest souls learn this truth. Not every move requires emotion. Not every trap deserves a reaction. When you move with intention, soul intention, that means your choices are coming from a place as far as you can handle, as you can, perceive right now, that you are creating that instead of emotion, you're creating devotion. You're creating devotion instead of emotion. And when you move with devotion and choose your energy carefully, you start moving through your day with quiet power. So let's all just imagine for a moment a day like that. Or any day. You're setting it up right now, my dears. And whatever you're deciding your consciousness to be, you're deciding that day. And being the equinox week, you're also getting primed for the highest reception of the equinox energies, which is what it says: equal, even-mindedness, equanimity, where there is nothing that can rock your boat or get your goat. That you have just this beautiful mindset that you set, and you can reset anytime, anywhere. In fact, that ability to adapt to a mood shift, a mood change, or an emotional shift is brilliant, because we're going to be human, because we're in a human body, and we've gotten pretty used to being in one and feeling what it's like to be in a human body. But you have the power to adapt to the moods that come in and the reactions that we still do. We're the ones that's setting the tone now, my dears, so that nothing in this world can sink your boat. Okay, so let's just get a sense of what the pundits say about this equinox coming up on Monday. Well, this is Monday, March 16th, but coming up in 4 days. It says, dear friends, we are now entering equinox week, a threshold space where the field often becomes clearer. Equinox. The field becomes clearer and more decisive. Cool. This is not always dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet, but it can feel unmistakable. Meaning the inner compass strengthens. Remember that you have this compass now? This compass that lives inside those feelings, the heart compass. That which really is the power behind your existence, is the heart. When that heart is satisfied, when it's tranquil, when it's feeling some devotion versus emotion, you'll have complete charge of yourself. The mind, the energies, the actions and the responses or no responses. You'll have complete charge when you have your heart compass moving with the galactic consciousness, right? It's all consciousness, my dears. This whole creation is consciousness. So let yourself flow with the divine consciousness. It's just a heartbeat away, Just a heartbeat away is this rhythm where you can flow with the cosmic consciousness. And that is all the beauty, all the love, all the peace that has always been and always will be as the reality. So this equinox, as we prepare for it, it's going to be clearer and more decisive. And the noise becomes less tolerable. And the system begins to choose what is true with less negotiation. So I don't know if I really understood what that meant, but it can feel unmistakable. The inner compass strengthens. The noise becomes less tolerable. And the system begins to choose what is true with less negotiation. The equinox is a balancing point where light and dark meets as equals. Let's practice balance. Light and dark meet as equals. And in the inner world, this often translates as a reset, my dears, since we're in this equilibrium state of light and dark meeting as equals. It translates as a reset of priorities. So as you breathe in this present moment, feel there's a equinox reset of your priorities, energy that's coming into the picture for the next 4 days for you. Priorities. First things first. And part of those priorities can mean that what is sustainable for you. And let's look at that word, sustainable. Let's look at that word in the context of what gives you joy, what gives you peace, what gives you this idea Instead of reacting or getting emotional, we get devotional, right? That you choose as you begin to reset your priorities, that you choose those ones that are going to be sustainable in the highest and best way for you. So maybe there's some exercise, maybe there's some, less sugar, whatever that can help sustain you in the healthiest way. In the healthiest way. It becomes more important than what is impressive. This sustainability in this time of the equinox. What is nourishing becomes more important than what is urgent. So your nourishment, how you can nourish yourself, how you can bring in that Shakti, another name for energy or prana, that Shakti energy through the medulla to give you unceasing, new, revitalized energy. That nourishes you. That nourishes you. It becomes more important than getting all freaked out about what you might think is urgent. And what supports your nervous system, my dears, becomes more important than what performs well on the outside. Okay? So let's take care of that. Let's take care of the inner me, which, truly is taking care of us. Let's just be aware of that divine loving care that we have. Because who's in my temple anyway? Source, infinite prana, absolute perfect balance, non-stop vitality, and a heart beating in the rhythm of the collective cosmic consciousness of this universe. Wow. So let this week, my dears, be led by balance, not force. You're probably getting pretty good at not forcing yourself to be something that doesn't feel right in the heart. You can maybe getting good at leaving it aside if you're in doubt about it, and do the thing that feels good, that moves your spirit, that moves your consciousness in tune with that divine consciousness. You move together. You go with the flow. So if you've been pulled between extremes recently, like overgiving or withdrawing or pushing something, this is a beautiful time to return to your center. This middle path is what the Buddha called his teachings the middle way. The middle path is not less spiritual, my dears. Being even keeled is the most spiritually mature path. It's where the body can stay present long enough for real change. to stick. So your body can stay present long enough. Your mind, your beautiful, adaptable, flexible mindset can stay present long enough for real change to penetrate into the depths of your being. So we have a lot going for us right now, as always. This goes on to say, you may notice that certain choices become easier, not because life is simpler, but because your inner tolerance has changed. Your inner tolerance has changed. Some options will feel too costly, and you'll be able to perceive that. Some relationships will feel too noisy. Some rhythms will feel too fast. Let that clarity be a gift, though. The threshold is helping you refine without having to suffer first. So you're refining. It's called wisdom, my dears. Wisdom comes first. Wisdom is the anticipation of consequences, says Yogananda. So this threshold that we're in with this equinox is helping us refine without having to suffer first. So here's a simple equinox week practice. Make your next step smaller and cleaner. Your little steps as you walk. You ever notice that? Like walking meditation. But the next step, be smaller and cleaner. Let the next conversation be handled with calm. One boundary that you're working on for yourself, held without drama. One nourishing routine repeated. Yay. Remember nourishment. The time of nourishment, this equinox. The field responds to consistency right now. What you repeat becomes the new baseline, my dears. And if you feel tenderness, treat it as a sign something is reorganized at the deepest level within you. If you feel tenderness, let's say also compassion. Also, let's say patience. Also, that you're feeling trust and faith in the Supreme, whose universe this is in the first place. Because if you're feeling tenderness, treat it as a sign that something is reorganized at the deepest level within you. And you don't have to rush the process. You only have to stay honest with your pace. Remember? Those steps, those quiet steps that we're going to take, the smaller, quiet steps that we're going to take. And stay honest with your pace and kind with your body. Honest with your pace and kindness in your body. The balance point is coming, my dears. So let your inner world become inhabitable enough to receive what's next. Let your inner world become inhabitable. Place that is your resting place. It is your nest. That is your home. Let it become habitable enough to receive the next blessing. Move gently this week, my dears, and stay near your center. With 4 days to the equinox, the field is helping many step into a cleaner rhythm, a steadier truth, and a more livable future. Let balance become your power. Have an amazing week. As you cross this special threshold. Much love. So let's just let all this beautiful Shakti energy, let all this divine consciousness that we're flowing with, that's penetrating into the core of our beings right now, let this beautiful heart-opening experience that we're having right now make all the difference in the world for you today, my dears. Thank your soul for all it does for you. Your soul is your essence. Your soul is your vitality. Your soul is radiant health. Your soul is magnificent equanimity. Your soul is God Himself, herself, itself. So let's be grateful. And not, I was going to say, not the grateful dead so much as the grateful living. All right, let's bring our palms together, my dear, so we can tune in with this ocean roar sound, it's music of the spheres, the Om, the Amen. Let's do an Om together. Inhale. Oh. Let it fill your body, this next one. Let it fill and then expand out. Because remember, as you are, the world is. Let's don't forget that as you walk with those quiet steps today, in the clarity today, in the complete reinforcement of everything that is beautiful and powerful and rehabilitating and reinvigorating to you this today. Let it just pour in. One more Om. All right, let's if we haven't got our glasses on, let's put our love vision. Let's dial in with that love vision. Everything you see today is love. Everything you feel today is love. Every footstep is love. Every choice point is love. Simple, right? And that's not even you having to do it. It's your soul that is making the suggestions, not your mind ego thinking. Your soul is suggesting these beautiful mindsets. So we love and we care, because the more you love, the more you're going to care for the littlest things, right? And for the big things. And for the things that scare you, bring fear. They will be there to remove the obstacles, that soul self of yours. So we care. And then finally, now the temple is absolutely a conduit for all the light and love of this universe to pour through. How's that? How's that? And just feel the the power as it comes into you, revitalizes you, brings you into perfect balance, and then moves through you into your brothers and sisters on this planet right now and all the creatures, great and small. We thank you, O Spirit, that this is so, and that is that, and so it is. Oh, thanks everybody for jumping on. Roman, for seeing you again. It's awesome. Thank you. Appreciate you. Ricardo, same. I'll put this my audio on if somebody has anything they want to say right now, but please don't think you have to. No forcing,
I
right?
love you, Tom. Thank you.
You're welcome, my brother. Thank you. Yeah, good to see you. Yeah. I was talking with my sister. Where are you from, man? Where are you hanging out? Roman?
Uh, right now, or
Well, whatever you want to say, wherever you've been
oh,
around.
yeah, San Diego here now, and then England.
In England, you've been. All right.
Yeah.
Living in San Diego now. Awesome.
Mm,
Yeah, that's one of my stomping grounds, right?
mm.
Good to
Yes.
know. Good to know. And you're doing okay on the kind of just in the flow, Ricardo?
Trying. I'm real spread out right now, trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do next move.
Yeah.
I got 4 storage units right now, so
Okay.
it's a little stressful. But
Yeah.
I'm just trusting and going with the flow, and it feels right. I'm not having a lot of luck finding a van. I'm not kind
Yeah.
of living in my car,
Yeah.
and it's a whole new experience, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm also in San Diego, Roman. I've been hanging out down in Ocean Beach pretty much nonstop. That seems to be my new stomping ground. The sand is very grounding.
Yeah.
Mm.
Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah, I'm finding a lot of peace in the just being at the ocean.
Yeah. Well, listen, here's a little suggestion, a little spiritual possibility here that as soon as you feel whatever is the next thing that you're kind of considering and thinking about and all that you just said, that you just hand it over to the divine, hand it over to God and say it's yours. And see if you can find some peace in the waiting for God's response. You know what I'm saying? That
Right.
just you take the load off, take the load off, and
That's kind of where I am. You
yep,
know,
I
I,
can.
I
I
bought myself a paddle board and I'm spending a lot of time on the water.
oh, God bless you, man. All right, give that ocean a big hug for me, will you?
Absolutely.
Good, brother. All right, maybe you see Roman one day there.
Yeah, we'll try to hook up.
Okay, awesome. Love you all. See you soon. Be well.
Cheers.
God
Have a great
bless.
day.
Happy Equinox beginning.
Absolutely.
Love you
We're
guys.
ready.
Much love. Thank
Cheers.
you.